The three generations that will transform Ghana and what they need to do right now. Late Gen X, Millennials, Early Gen Z, Mind Renewal, and Systems Thinking. Introduction. Ghana doesn't have a leadership problem. It has a sequence problem. Every election cycle, the same ritual repeats itself. New slogans, old faces, fresh hope, familiar disappointment. We blame corruption. We blame politicians. We blame colonialism. We blame the system. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Ghana is not failing because of a lack of ideas or intelligence. Ghana is stalled because generations are operating out of sequence. Nations don't collapse when people are bad. They stagnate when the wrong people are trying to do the wrong jobs at the wrong time. Transformation is not a vibe. It is a handover protocol. And Ghana's next leap will not be led by one generation alone, but by three generations aligned correctly, each executing its specific assignment with discipline. Those three are late Generation X, Millennials, early Generation Z. Not all at once, not doing the same thing, but operating as a coordinated system. Let's break it down, cleanly, clearly, and without romance. Why baby boomers can't carry the next phase, but still matter. Baby boomers deserve respect for laying foundations. Post-independence governance, early institutions, cultural continuity. But here's the hard limit. They were trained under colonial and post-colonial operating systems. Their reflexes are centralization, control, preservation of legacy, fear of destabilization. That makes them excellent elders, advisors, and legitimizers, but poor initiators of radical system redesign. Think of them as the board of elders, not the startup founders. They bless transitions. They do not drive them. The real engine, the three-generation alignment. Ghana's transformation depends on function, not age worship. Here's the strategic reality. Late Gen X opens doors. Millennials build new systems. Early Gen Z accelerates and replaces obsolete structures. Miss this order and you get chaos, burnout, or paralysis. Get it right, and Ghana leapfrogs. 1. Late Generation X, 40 to 55, the gatekeepers and institutional resetters. Their strategic role, enable or block the future. Late Gen X currently occupies a dangerous position. They sit at the intersection of authority and fatigue. They understand how power actually works, how institutions resist change, where reveals are buried and processes are rigged. This makes them uniquely qualified to restructure systems from the inside. What Gen X must do right now. 1. Stop managing broken systems. Managing decay is not leadership. It's delay. Gen X must simplify bureaucratic processes, cut redundant structures, decentralize decision-making without collapsing authority. 2. Create legal and institutional space for new models. Parallel systems will emerge anyway. The question is whether Gen X regulates them wisely or fights them foolishly. 3. Separate stability from stagnation. Stability that prevents evolution is not stability. It's rot with a seatbelt. The risk. If Gen X fails, millennials get blocked, Gen Z revolts or disengages, the country freezes. Gen X doesn't need to lead the revolution. They need to unlock the doors and step aside with dignity. 2. Millennials, 28 to 43, the system builders and nation designers, their strategic role. Build what replaces the old millennials are Ghana's most misunderstood asset. They are educated, globally exposed, deeply dissatisfied, economically pressured. That combination makes them perfect builders, not just critics. What millennials must do right now. 1. Move from commentary to construction. Complaining about corruption without building alternatives is just emotional journalism. Millennials must design education models that outperform schools, build businesses that solve local problems, create governance tools that reduce human discretion. 2. Master systems thinking. Power does not sit in speeches. It sits in incentives, infrastructure, laws, platforms, technology. If you don't understand systems, you will always lose to those who do. 3. Build parallel systems that force adoption. Waiting for permission is optional. Building something too effective to ignore is not. The risk. If millennials fail, national exhaustion, talent migration, a permanently angry middle class, millennials are the architects of the next Ghana. No one else is coming to do this job. 3. Early Generation Z, 1827, the accelerators and cultural replacers. Their strategic role, make old systems obsolete. Gen Z does not need motivation. They need direction, discipline, and grounding. They are digitally native, globally connected, unemotionally attached to institutions, fast builders. What Gen Z must do right now. 1. Learn before leading. Speed without wisdom is destruction with Wi Fi. Gen Z must learn history, learn economics, learn spiritual and ethical frameworks before touching national power. 2. Build tech first solutions. They should focus on AI assisted systems, civic technology, automation of corruption prone processes. 3. Control culture and narrative. Culture moves faster than law. Gen Z must redefine what success looks like, what is shameful, what is admirable. If corruption stops being smart and starts being embarrassing, reform becomes easy. The risk, if Gen Z is untrained, noise without impact, fragmentation, burnout before maturity. Gen Z is the multiplier, not the foundation. The missing ingredient, mind renewal. No generation succeeds without mental decolonization. Mind renewal means breaking inferiority complexes, unlearning imported ideologies that don't fit local realities, replacing superstition with spiritual intelligence, replacing emotional politics with systems governance. Without mind renewal, education reforms fail, tech becomes vanity, politics remains theatrical, transformation starts inside the mind, not inside parliament. Why elections alone will never fix Ghana. Elections reshuffle people. They do not redesign systems. True change happens when parallel systems outperform official ones. Culture shifts before laws do. Authority transfers intentionally, not accidentally. That is how nations evolve without collapsing. Conclusion: Ghana's future is not a mystery. It's a design choice. Ghana does not need a savior generation. It needs generational alignment. Late Gen X must unlock institutions. Millennials must build superior systems. Early Gen Z must accelerate and culturally enforce them. No coups, no chaos, no fantasies, just disciplined succession. If this alignment happens, Ghana leapfrogs. If it doesn't, Ghana repeats history with better slogans. The window is open, but it won't stay open forever. Frequently asked questions, FAQ. Q1, why not let Gen Z lead everything immediately? Because nations are not hackathons. Leadership without grounding produces instability. Q2, are baby boomers irrelevant then? No, they are essential as elders, advisors, and legitimizers, but not as system designers. Q3, can millennials really build without government power? Yes. Systems that work force governments to adapt or copy them. Q4, what is systems thinking in simple terms? Understanding how incentives, structures, and processes shape behavior more than intentions or speeches. Q, what happens if the generations don't align? Stagnation, fragmentation, or slow national decline. Transformation is not about age, it's about assignment. And Ghana's assignments are overdue, but still achievable.